If you are a CityCast superfan, you've definitely heard us singing the praises of our longtime supporter, Paulson & Nace. So there's big news. Paulson & Nace is now Nace Law Group. Same great team, just with a new name. When you are hurt by the negligence of others, you want a lawyer that will actually fight for you, not one that will settle for the bare minimum. Nace's compassionate lawyers fight to bring cases to juries, so you can get everything you deserve. If you have been hurt or lost a loved one because of someone else's mistake or negligence, call Nace Law Group for a no-obligation consultation. Visit www.washingtondcinjurylawyers.com or call 202-463-1999. Going to the auto shop is a pain. Whether it's fear of being scammed or overcharged or just the general inconvenience of finding a good mechanic and dropping off your car care is a hassle. That's where Rhoda comes in. Rhoda is a local DMV auto shop that makes car care so easy that you don't even need to get off the couch. Just book a service online in under 3 minutes and they'll pick up your car for free, service it at their shop, and return it usually in the same day. They'll even send you text updates along the way. Trust me, they let me try, and the service was completely stress-free. Whether it's seasonal maintenance, repairs, or a car detail, Rhoda's expert technicians offer honest pricing and free inspections on any make or model. Go to Rhoda.com, that's RODA.com, to book your appointment in under 3 minutes. Use code POD50 for your $50 off your first service of $200 or more.
Good morning. This is Bridget. So before we get into today's show, I just want to remind y'all about our spring membership campaign. You can join the growing community of passionate Washingtonians and get a free CityCast DC coffee mug at membership.citycast.fm. And thanks to CityCast neighbors Elizabeth A., Emily W., and Anna Claire W. for joining us already this week. Okay, on to the show. We love our brunches here in DC. It's kind of our thing here. But what about brunches that might be a little bit off the beaten path? Today on CityCast DC, my colleague Julia Karen and CityCast contributor Cornelia Poku of the popular food blog Black Girls Explore DC share their menu of the best underrated DC brunches. Today's Tuesday, April 22nd. I'm Bridget Todd, and here's what DC is talking about. So a lot of places in DC claim to be the spot for brunch. It's like cheesesteak in Philadelphia or pizza in New York. What do you think is DC's number one spot? What is the top spot on your list? If somebody is visiting and they're a brunch fiend, where are you taking them?
I can't answer that. Like, I just feel like I would be playing favorites
Cornelia
with my
rejects
children.
the question.
I can't play favorites. Like, that's crazy. That's a crazy question.
Is it okay to have a top two? Is that allowed?
Hit me with your top two.
Okay, so it's for two very different things. One place I will take people is St. Anselm in Union Market. I love their biscuits and pimento cheese, and it is an all-day thing for me. Like, an excuse to eat biscuits, yes, I'm game. The other thing is that they will have specials. So, like, they have, like, a basic egg breakfast. They do mimosas. They do a great drink. I'm a big St. Anselm fan generally. So that is one place where I'm like, yeah, like, if we're going to go to Union Market, if that's kind of the area we're going for, I'm a St. Anselm girly. The other place is Immigrant Food Plus inside of Planet Word, the Linguistics Museum downtown. This is if, like, I know I'm going to go downtown. I know my friends are new to the area and they want to see, like, the White House and the Capitol and, like, make a day of it. That's where I go. Enrique Lamardo is the guy who runs it, and he runs a tight ship. And they have kind of all sorts of international kinds of food. Like, they have Turkish eggs and they have cinnamon rolls and cardamom buns. And oh my God, it's so good. It is a little pricier though.
What makes these places elite to you?
I don't know, man. I feel like the price is mostly right in the sense that, like, yes, like, they are a little bit more expensive, but they're charging because the food is good and the drinks are solid. And I know that generally I'm going to go there and I'm not going to be disappointed. Like, I'm going to go there and, like, it's better than if I made something at home. That's my big standard. Because, like, I can cook eggs at home, but, like, it is nice to have someone else cook eggs for you, you know?
Cornelia, what about you?
Okay, when we look at that, as what Julia said, as, like, our parameters, like, I know I'm not going to be disappointed. I think I will probably say, like, St. Vincent Wine Bar in Petworth. I guess because it's a wine bar, I wasn't expecting the brunch to be so good, but, like, the bread basket alone is fantastic. They have so many goodies in there. And then all of the dishes for brunch, It's not that many, but each one is like a classic with a little twist. And I just know that everyone will find something that they enjoy there, whether it's fluffy eggs or hard eggs or, fried chicken or whatever. It's so good. And the other place that's a little bit of an unconventional choice is Joy by Seven Reasons. And it's so far away from me.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's so far away from me, but I love the food there. And brunch is kind of like a low-key time. I've been there a couple of times and like it's never packed, but the menu options are so good.
Where is Joy by Seven Reasons?
Yeah, it straddles like the Chevy Chase Friendship Heights spot, like where all the luxury stores are, on that little strip.
Cornelia, what makes a primo brunch spot? Like, the two places that you named sound great. Is there a thread that connects them that you are looking for when it comes to a primo brunch spot?
Yeah, okay. So there's nothing wrong with the classics. Like, of course, we love an egg, we love a French toast. But I think when a restaurant takes classic brunch food and they do something special to it, whether they put like a cultural twist on it or they add like some non-traditional ingredients and they have fun with it, that's what stands out to me. I would rather, me personally, I'm certainly a fan of the bottomless option, but sometimes those bottomless options tend to be the super basics, so that both you and the restaurant can, get your money's worth. But like, I would prefer to have like something that's really well crafted, but not unfamiliar.
It's funny, when I was a bit younger, it was all about the bottomless. And now I'm like, I'll pay for a cocktail by the glass if the food is hitting. I'm at the age where I'm no longer looking to just get blackout drunk at noon on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Listen, it had a time and place.
Right. It had a time and place.
So historically, my place for that, may it rest in peace, was Level 1, which is now where 350 Coffee Bar used to be. They had a drag brunch. And I think it was like $35 for like all-in bottomless brunch. You got to pick your entree or whatever it was you wanted. And as you progressively got more mimosas, the flip from OJ to champagne went more champagne and less OJ. And it was served in like a fishbowl sized thing. And like that is how I spent a lot of my 20s, was going to brunch at Level 1. And it was great.
R.I.P.
Rest in peace.
Porch Fest is back! On Saturday, May 3rd, 2025, come out to Adams Morgan for a free, family-friendly music festival. Experience live performances on porches, patios, and public spaces all throughout the neighborhood. DC is home to so many talented musicians spanning every style and genre. This year's festival is headlined by Gangsta Grass, an Emmy-nominated bluegrass hip-hop fusion band. So get some butts together and come on down to Boogie and enjoy the community this spring. Grab your wristband at the festival headquarters to score discounts and offers at bars, restaurants, and retailers throughout the neighborhood. Join us on May 3rd. For more info and the full lineup, visit admodc.org/porchfest and be sure to follow @admobid on Instagram for updates.
After the Fact, a podcast by Pew, keeps it real with data-driven insights on today's big issues. No spin, just facts, mixed with stories from experts, policymakers, and people making a difference. Whether you're into the research or the personal stories behind it, we've got you covered. So what are you waiting for? Listen to After the Fact wherever you get your podcasts.
We'll get back to more brunch recommendations in just a minute, but first, I want to talk to you all about the CityCast DC neighbor thing we're doing. So I don't need to tell y'all that if your news feeds are anything like mine, they're probably full of AI slop and like escalating tense national rhetoric. And the reason that you probably tune into shows like CityCast is because it's local and it's real. Like, I'm a real person. If this is something that you think is valuable, if you want to make sure that we can keep it coming, please consider becoming a CityCast DC neighbor. Your support is so essential to what we're doing here at CityCast. By becoming a CityCast DC neighbor, you get so many perks. Things like access to neighbors-only events with the CityCast DC crew. We just had a CityCast happy hour, and it was actually so fun just having a low-key hang with the people that make this community great. You'll also get cool perks like the opportunity to shout out a local business or nonprofit that you love in the newsletter and on the podcast. And a complimentary CityCast DC coffee mug as a welcome gift. It is the very same mug that I have my coffee out of every morning, and I can attest to the fact that it is a good mug. So if you believe in good mugs and you believe that better neighbors make better cities, join us by becoming a neighbor today. You can do that by going to membership.citycast.fm. Again, that's membership.citycast.fm. You know, both of you have mentioned sort of like spots that are kind of neighborhoody. Are there neighborhood spots that are great, but sort of get left out of the conversation when it comes to brunch for one reason or another?
Okay, yes. I have a place, and it is one of my favorites because I can roll out of bed and walk under half a mile, and that is Duke's Counter in Woodley Park. I love that place. Why? Because from Saturday and Sunday, so both days, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., they have brunch. I love it. I roll out of bed, I walk over, you're across from the zoo, and you can sit indoors or outdoors if the weather's nice. And they have stuff like shakshuka, your eggs Benedict, but they also have like fancy tea cocktails. It's called Duke's Royal Tea, and it's like a set, and it serves like 2 and up to 4 guests. They have one that has Hendrick's gin and like cranberry and like lime and ginger. It's served warm, and it sounds weird, but it's very, very good. And they have brunch spritzes. And like, again, if I want to roll out of bed and walk there, that's my move.
Okay, so for me, it's the Duck and the Peach. I think that they're really well known for like their dinner options, but I went to brunch there the other day and I was like super pleasantly surprised. I thought it was interesting the way that they did like the duck carnitas, and also the pastry basket is fantastic. I mean, just such like delicious treats. And I think the pastry basket is like 4 treats for $16. So freaking good. Completely worth it.
So you're speaking my language because I love duck. If there's duck on the menu, I'm going to get it. And I've never really seen duck at brunch. And one of my pet peeves is restaurants that have duck in the name, but no duck on the menu. Complete bait and switch. You know, Julia, you kind of spoke to this, but there was a time where brunch defined DC. Do y'all remember what it was like to sit down with your friends at brunch? Like, what were the vibes like?
Oh my goodness. I was thinking about this as well. Like there was that era where you went to brunch and you didn't mind eating just like eggs and bacon and sausage because you were just pre-gaming for the day party. And I just feel like that just isn't as much of a thing anymore.
Yeah, no, I think post-pandemic, it's definitely, DC doesn't feel like as much of a brunch town. It's still there, but I think because the pandemic forced us to kind of like navigate away from seeing people and being crammed into spaces, I think that's one of the things that really suffered after the pandemic was brunch in DC hasn't come back in the same way that it used to be. I will still go for brunch. Again, I will use any excuse to go out for eggs and not cook them, but it's definitely different.
So is DC still a brunch town in y'all's opinion?
I would say so. I feel like most restaurants offer brunch or they end up bringing like, let's say they just started out, they will end up bringing a brunch menu at some point before they even introduce a lunch menu. So I think it is still pretty critical, but it doesn't have that same je ne sais quoi of like pre-pandemic, like party in the middle of the Saturday, like type of a vibe.
I've kind of accepted that part of that is DC changing with the pandemic and changing habits, but also me just aging out of some of these things, maybe. And to that vein, like, are there spots that at one point were like really buzzy, hard to get into places that tend to get overshadowed but are still worth bringing up in conversation about DC brunches?
I feel like the place that my friends and I went to a lot and just like could not get into were 2 different places. There was Agora in DuPont Circle. So more Levantine style food. So if you want like yogurt, eggs, pita, lamb, that kind of stuff, it's always packed. And it's still always packed, but they do make a good brunch. The other place was Ambar, where they had an all you can eat, all you could drink. I think it was like $50, something like that. But we'd make the trek to go out to Eastern Market to get it. And yes, like I think it's still hard to get into. I wonder if it's as hard to get into now because of the pandemic. I wonder if that tapered it off a little bit. But to me, Ambar was like, ooh, yes, like a good mix of stuff that everyone shared, small plates kind of thing. Have your coffee, have your mimosa. That was kind of the vibe that we were going for when I was younger, and I think Ambar does a great job of it.
Yeah, I was gonna say exactly the same thing. They closed it already, but the Kava that was right next to Ambar,
yes.
yeah, that was my spot. Like me and my friends went there at least a couple times a year, just to do anything, just pig out.
Well, those little places where it's like, oh, a coffee, a drink, a shared plate, this, that. it can sort of add up. And I do think, I mean, this is why I don't mess with tapas, because it's like $200 later, I had 2 bites of food. What do you think of that critique of brunch? Like, is it really worth it when all these little extras eventually do kind of add up and you get your bill and you're thinking like, oh, did I really need to spend this money?
For me personally, I have no problem with a flat rate kind of tapas place. Like, for example, like June, where it's $50 and it's bottomless small plates or something like that. Like, that's fine. But I completely agree with you when it starts to be individual prices. I'm like, let's kind of chill out.
Yeah, no, I am of the opinion that brunch definitely gets really expensive. Although, I don't know, eggs are really expensive right now. So maybe it was foreshadowing. But I do think that a prefixed set rate menu is really good for this kind of thing. That way you go in, you know how much you're going to spend, you know how much you're going to eat. Once you start getting kind of a la carte, that's when it gets dangerous. And the other thing that people don't realize is like, it's the alcohol that really drives the price up. I was at Dog Days a couple of weeks ago. They do a brunch bingo, which I'm a big fan of. And you can have bottomless food for $25, bottomless drinks for $25, or you can do both bottomless combined for $50. So you can pick and choose. And I think that's really smart. Knowing what you're going into, knowing how much you want to drink, knowing how much you want to eat. That's the way to do brunch. All right, so every Mother's Day, we treat my mom to a special day out. She gets her nails done. We take her to tea. We go out for dinner or we make her dinner. You know, that sort of thing. Now, I can do all of that because I happen to live close by her. But a lot of my friends don't live near their parents at all. And all their mom wants is a phone call. But what if you could get her something more than just the phone call? That's where Aura Frames comes in. Do you have a funny photo of you and your friends or you and your family that she would love as a keepsake in addition to that phone call? You can send her a new picture of you and the gang right from your phone. I mean, even my tech-averse mom would be a huge fan of that. Aura has a great deal for Mother's Day. For a limited time, listeners can save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off plus free shipping on their best-selling Carver matte frame. That's auraframes.com, promo code CityCast. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, CityCast. According to me and my calculator, you will spend more time this week between the sheets than you will at work. So upgrade your sheets to Cozy Earth. Luxury starts where you rest. I start my evening in buttery soft Cozy Earth bamboo pajamas. Then I dip into a Cozy Earth bamboo sheet set. They are silky and temperature regulating. Forget the 9 to 5. Prioritize your 5 to 9. Cozy Earth products will transform those hours into a sanctuary. And they take comfort seriously with a 100-night sleep trial and a 10-year warranty. Luxury should not be out of reach, so Cozy Earth is giving CityCast listeners 40% off their best-selling sheets, towels, pajamas, and more. Visit CozyEarth.com and use the code COZYDC for 40% off because you deserve a great night's sleep and sanctuary awaits at Cozy Earth.
Hi, I'm Mackenzie Williams. I grew up in the DMV and I still love it here. I love the food, the diversity, and just how smart people are in DC. I started listening to CityCast DC in 2023 after I came across it on social media. What I love about the show is that while everybody else is talking about national politics, CityCast DC focuses entirely on local, and they do it in a laid-back way, like we're just having a conversation about it. I know I could listen to this show for free, but I decided to support it because it makes the city feel like a neighborhood, and that's something I really value. When you become a CityCast DC neighbor, you help the city feel more like a neighborhood too. And not only do you help make life in DC better, but you also get access to perks like ad-free listening, regular events, and an exclusive events look-ahead email. You can join me and become a CityCast DC neighbor by going to membership.citycast.fm. That's membership.citycast.fm. Thanks for making the city better with me.
I think the worst brunches are the ones that are just overrated and thus are too expensive. Are there spots that you think are maybe a little overrated but still live up to the hype?
Okay, yes. This one is kind of Instagrammy, but I think Residence Brunch is really, really good. I think their food is solid. I think their drinks are really great. And I know it's Instagrammy because people will go and they have to the phone eats first. They photograph everything and it looks really pretty, but it doesn't just look pretty. The food is actually very good. They also have a sister spot in Georgetown. It's called River Club, and they actually have a prefix menu. It's $35 for 3 courses. Everybody has to do it. You get an appetizer, a main, and then everyone shares a dessert. And then you can add for $20. It's like a cocktail shooter rotation. So it's 3 different cocktails that you get to try and test out in little mini sips. And that's $20. I know it looks really fancy, but yeah, I mean, you eat with your eyes first. So in that case, I do think it's really good. If you're trying to go more expensive, I have gone to Blue Duck Tavern in Foggy Bottom. And this is a place where they have a duck confit hash, and it is so good. The potatoes are crispy. The duck is perfectly juicy and crispy. Yes, you're getting out of there, and you're probably going to spend $100. If you have a really fancy thing that you're going to, Blue Duck Tavern is my pick.
And it has duck in the name, and it serves duck. That's what I need to know.
Yes.
What about you, Cornelia?
Okay, my 2 picks for the places that are a little overrated in terms of the food, but at the end of the day, it is still a good value, are Palette 22. I think that's in Shirlington. And I'm sorry, Ambar. Okay. The thing about Ambar is that they have lunch and dinner that are also bottomless options. And I think the food for lunch and dinner are just better. And the thing with Palette 22 and Ambar is their brunch, there's going to be some cop-out small plates, right? Like some under-seasoned eggs, some terribly assembled chicken sandwiches or, bad tacos or whatever. But it's a great price and you will leave full. So you just kind of have to be careful when you're, selecting what you want to fill your stomach with.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for a brunch spot. Leaving full. I don't want any of this I guess I got enough to eat. I want to leave satisfied, nourished.
Correct.
With the weather warming up, I do kind of feel in my opinion, we're reaching sort of peak brunch weather. For me, it's not brunch if I can't sit outside comfortably. What do you think is a time of year in DC where brunch really shines?
Fall.
Ooh, fall.
Yes.
I was not expecting that.
Yes.
Okay, let me tell you why I feel very passionate about this. So spring, the allergies are crazy. I can't do it. So the weather is great, but the allergies are just wild. Summer is disgusting. Let's all be serious right now. But fall, yes, sometimes the allergies can be a little here or there, but it's starting to cool down. Some of the bugs are leaving, and yeah, it's just better all over. If I can swing it, there are days where I can swing it. If I can sit outside during winter, top tier choice.
Ooh, yes. Because the tables are all clear too, so you can actually get a table outside. That's really nice. I will say there is something about, are you really a Washingtonian if you haven't had a bottomless brunch outdoors and roasted yourself to death like a lobster? I feel like that is a rite of passage that every 22-year-old DC person has gone through at some point.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Because I used to love, and they still do a pretty good brunch, but Wonderland Ballroom in Columbia Heights. I have many a day hungover, sitting on their picnic tables out in the sun, just
trying to hair of the dog it, exactly.
Smashing their big bottle mega mimosas. Yeah, many a day.
Yes.
Are there any spots that we missed that y'all want to make sure get included in this conversation?
Ooh, me.
Okay, go.
So District E or District Bites or whatever, it's the restaurant owned by Monumental Sports inside of Gallery Place. They have this hidden brunch menu that's $10 per plate, and it's actually a decent size, and it's only $10 per plate. So even if you get 2 plates, yeah, you can leave with just full $20.
I'm so glad you added that. My wallet and my tummy will be happy.
Exactly.
Juliet, Cornelia, thank you so much for being here. I will see y'all at brunch.
Let's do it.
Of course, see you at brunch, girl.
that's all for today here on CityCast DC. If you enjoyed the show, become a CityCast neighbor. You can sign up for just $10 a month at membership.citycast.fm. We'll be back tomorrow morning with even more news from around the city. Talk to you then.